I've been carrying these pocket notebooks for 10 years and I've filled up quite a few of them at this point. I just started number 19 in fact, and they had been sitting very happily on these shelves behind me until I brought some more books home, and so this section grew that way. The notebooks had been sat side by side, but I've had to stack them on top of each other for space, and I absolutely hate that they wobble and they don't sit perfectly flat. So until I build a display for these zines, which I think will go on the wall behind me here, the zines are going to come down to where the notebooks are, and the notebooks are going to go up to where the zines are, because I purposely set this top shelf slightly higher to accommodate for larger books on this third shelf. But even still, this gap will be a little bit too tight if I was to build a little bookshelf that could accommodate 2 rows of notebooks. And so I'm going to move this top shelf up to give me a little bit more space, and just hope that this gap doesn't look noticeably weird and uneven compared to the rest. I mean, that looks pretty good to me. It doesn't look noticeably weird, and that gap is going to allow me to build something that is plenty big enough to house all the notebooks that I currently have up there and future-proof it for the next few years anyway. So this was my original idea, just something really basic with a bottom and a top on it, and then you can see from some of these other drawings I was playing around with ways to remove the top and the base, and that was to give me more space, because even after moving the shelf up, the space that I have to work with is still pretty tight. So the design that I've settled on will be a lot like this one in the top corner here, but without a base on it. Actually, I have this pretty bad drawing that illustrates it, but there won't be a base, there won't be a top. I'm going to round over the corners on the sides because I think it will look kind of cool, but also it'll kind of mirror the shape of the notebooks themselves. It'll make sense when you see it. Let's go build it. I used red oak almost exclusively for everything that I made last year, and I'm very happy to say that today I'm using something different. This is ash, which is really beautiful. I think I got stuck in a cycle of thinking that if I built anything for my studio back home out of a different kind of wood, it would all clash. I think it's going to be fine. The first thing I need to do is cut down my sides, so I'm going to measure for those now. I know that I have 13 inches between my 2 shelves at home. This is some 1/2-inch plywood just to give me a kind of rough sense of it. Then that leaves enough gap to grab the books. What I really don't want is for that top section to look too short. So that's 2 inches, that's 3. We'll go 3.5. So my overall height is about 10.5 tall. I wanted the back panels of the shelf to be 1/2 inch thick, but since I don't have a way to resaw them, I had to plane them down. This way I lost more wood than I would have liked, but it was my only choice. I'd been thinking about wood movement and how the pieces will fit together, and I decided that I'd try to keep the grain moving in the same direction for all the pieces so that when I glue them together, hopefully it'll be more harmonious and they'll expand in the same direction. And so to do that, I'd need to make some panels for the backs and the shelf. So I'm cutting these boards down to smaller pieces and then I'll glue them side by side. To be honest, I'm not really sure how necessary that was or if I even did it in the right way, but I was kind of just figuring it out as I went along, and that's the decision that I made in the moment. When I had all those cut down, I spent quite a while with each piece trying to find an orientation where the grain matched up the nicest to hide the join. And when I had that figured out, I cut a fresh edge on each joining face to help them glue nicely together. I didn't have enough clamps to do all 3 panels at the same time, and so I got the first 2 glued up and then moved on to rounding off the front corner of the sides. I was changing a router bit just there and I dropped it directly onto my phone screen and cracked it, which I'd never done before today. This tiny little shelf, this cute little fun idea, has cost me so much money. Alright, so I'm about to cut this groove that the shelf will sit down into, but rather than do like a through cut, meaning you will kind of see the shelf sitting into the side from the front, I'm going to do what's known as a stopped dado, which I did on a workshop shelf really recently, and it worked really well, so I want to try it again here. I will take my router, run it all the way to the end, and just stop shy of the front. Then I'll cut a rabbet on the edge of each side of the shelf and just cut this section out. It'll make sense when you see it. When those slots were cut in the sides, I took them to the table saw to cut the rabbets to accept the back panels. So I did multiple passes, really gradually increasing the height of the blade each time until I got to the right depth, and then I turned them upright to finish the cut. So this is where we are currently. The back, bottom and the shelf have been cut to the right depth and the right height. Overall width is something I'm still thinking about. Right now we have 16 inches of internal space there, which would cover me for notebooks for probably the next 15 years. 12 looks pretty good. The shelf will kind of determine the overall width, and then I can cut both back pieces just to fit into that opening. So I've cut a little section of those tongues away. Normally I would have done it with a little Japanese pull saw, but I left it at home, so we had to make do with what we had here. So now that shelf fits nicely into the sides, and it just stops shy of the front, which is the stop dado at work. So now I can cut the back panels to fit into this opening, and I'll just do them slightly oversized to begin with, and then sneak up on the final dimension. This last panel has been sitting for a while, so I can get this cut down as well. Ooh, that feels nice. So we're almost ready for the glue up, but I was thinking it might be nice to put a round over on the top edge of the shelf here. So it's like that curve kind of carries forward, you know? If I'd planned to do the round over ahead of time, I would have done it when the shelf was still oversized. So then if there was any tear out, I could have just chopped it off. I just went against the cut for the back corner here, and it actually worked out grand. So in the end, I only did a round over on this top edge of the shelf here. I was going to do it on the underside, and I was going to do the outer edges of the sides. I did some tests, and I don't know, just didn't look very good, and I was afraid of ruining it. And I think that looks pretty cool. You may have noticed when I was putting it together there that there's a few holes in the back of this shelf now. Basically, earlier on, when I was doing a little dry fit, I noticed that because the back two pieces are bowed, it's kind of difficult to get them to line up with the shelf at the back. I just knew that trying to correct that at the glue up stage would be so stressful and messy and frustrating. And so if we think of this piece as section A and the bottom as section B, I removed section A, and then using some clamps I got the shelf and section B to line up properly. And then I drilled those holes for dowels, which will help with alignment later on. The bottom only needed one, but the top needed a little bit more work. So hopefully now, after a little bit of sanding, I can get it all glued up and there won't be any major issues. I always think that pieces of wood that you've been working on for a while look really cool, you know? Like you've been shaping them and cutting them, and by the time you're done, they're just so specific and kind of unique and interesting looking. So there it is. I put one more coat of pure Danish roll on it and then sanded to 120, and now it's ready to go on the shelf behind me. I'm gonna make a display for these zines really soon, but until I get to that, they're just gonna go somewhere else temporarily, and the notebooks are gonna replace them on this shelf here. I could probably get one more along the bottom, but I think it might be nicer just looking for now. Spread them out a little bit. Some of the zines can go back in next to it, I guess. I think it looks so good, and the way that they were stacked up and displayed have been a problem for so long, and I'm just so happy to finally solve that problem, but also make something that looks like really beautiful too. Couldn't be happier. I think it looks great. I can get 16 books on each row, so that's 32. I'm working on, what is it, 19 right now. When I first started keeping books, I would do like 4 a year. Now it's like 2 or 3 a year. So let me see. My cat wants to come in, excuse me. We'll say 3 a year, we'll do the upper estimate. That is another 4 years before this thing will be full. That's pretty great. You like them? Purr if you like them. He likes them. That's all from me for now. I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed making these and solving a problem. I'll be back really soon with something else that I've made, so tune in for that. Cheers, thanks.